everybody, I'm Vasel here at the Dice Tower. Today we're taking a look at another in the Funkoverse universe, a combat strategy game, which I've already reviewed before, but this is a standalone, although I never play these small ones standalone. They're not as much fun. Expansion for Funkoverse, and that's how we're looking at it here. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you already know that you like Funkoverse. So this adds Peter Pan and Captain Hook, the Disney version of them, which of course I've always thought was a really good version of them. So let's take a look at what's in this box. Here we go. So first let's take a look at the new characters here. So these are actually two really good characters. First of all, Peter Pan has a fuzzy felt hat and a fuzzy tunic. Feels like those old little animals my sister used to collect. Anyhow, Peter Pan is one of the most versatile, fast characters in the game. So he's a boring move to and do a basic challenge. I'd say boring, but it's not bad. But the thing is, he has this happy little thoughts. And so happy little thoughts lets him, you place him on one on the cooldown track, or you can shift him off the cooldown track. So he can do this even when he's knocked out. And it's only one, so you can do this all the time. Whenever he comes off the cooldown track, you can place him on a point marker or a point marker setup square. That's crazy. He has such vast maneuverability. Now he also has this codfish and a hook. He can hit two different people. Challenge 3, challenge 2. Both targets must be standing, so he can't really knock people out as well with that, but still, just his maneuverability is pretty awesome. Even still, I like Captain Hook better. Now, I've always liked Captain Hook. I'm always rooting for him against Peter Pan. But here he has this amazing challenge 4, and then he can move the target a square. He can shift the token or status card on his cooldown track down by 1, shorten a fuse, which matters for a second. I'll talk about cannons. And now I can do 2 basic actions, but then he does a challenge 1 to that ally. So he's a bad leader. But at the beginning of the game, you get this cannon token. So you put this cannon token outside the board somewhere. And it says at the beginning of your turn, it can move 3, And he can play this fire card here, which is a challenge 2 to every rival in that row. Now, of course, your rivals will know that you have this, and so they'll try not to line themselves up. But if they make a mistake, and still that cannon's constantly moving around. If you win a challenge, put this on the 3 of your cooldown track. But again, he can then shorten the fuse and move it down faster. I don't know what it is. I really like that about Captain Hook, being able to move that down the track. There's also the sword. It's weird that this is the first time a sword's been in the game, but basically lets you re-roll a die that shows a shield. Not bad. There's also Tinkerbell. She can move up to 2 squares, and if she's paired with a character, so if you give her to somebody, Tinkerbell is considered a companion. Of course, I actually want a little Tinkerbell now instead of this token. But if they're adjacent, she can assist the character, and also rivals adjacent to her have +1 defense, or they have only 1 defense, which can be really handy in its case. So she's useful. I don't know that she's as useful as, say, the sword. I like the reroll ability a lot. But that's the characters. Other things that are included in here, we have the Lost Boy and the Pirate, if you ever use these, which I never do. Really cool gems here. They're like green gems, and you can see they have kind of a glittery feel to them. And then, of course, the board. So the small boards, which I never use. So this is kind of the Lagoon here. Whatever. The other board, though, is the pirate ship. I love this. This is actually one of my favorite boards. It's a pretty open board. There's not a lot of terrain on it. So there's that. If you're someone who likes to hide and move behind terrain, this one is definitely geared for people who want to have an open board, which I kind of want to do every once in a while. So I'm very happy with this board. And of course, the cannon and Captain Hook and Peter Pan, they kind of just fit right into this, but you can add pretty much anybody to this. The board is fantastic. Yeah, pretty simple, right? Captain Hook, Peter Pan, good thematic, adding these in. And of course, I always sit there and think, ooh, now I can make like a trio of terror. Have Voldemort and Hook and a raptor, something like that. Peter Pan is good. He's a fast character, although he's a little fragile, and you want to pair him up with some other people. But if you have any kind of scenario, and I didn't mention the scenarios, but this game comes with kind of the basic scenarios. If you're running around capturing flags or whatever, getting point tokens, Peter Pan is amazing at that. Hook is just a beast. He's strong, he's powerful, and he has that cannon, which your opponents are always watching out for. The sword is a nice addition, and yeah, I like this one a lot. I like the theme, and I like both the characters a lot. I think that they would rise very highly on my list of favorite Funkoverse characters. Anyway, that's Peter Pan Funkoverse. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.